welcome, or should I say, welcome back to the Reclamation Point podcast, man. I'm your host, Mr. Moetown Lee.
Riding shotgun, pouring sweet tea ethics, Dr. Edward M. Garnes Jr.
And first, let me say, you know what? It's good to be back. We took a hiatus. There's reasons that we took a hiatus, but it's so good to be back. And for all the loyal listeners, all the subscribers, we have to say we apologize for taking this hiatus, but I think it was necessary for me personally. It was necessary that I take a break because we can't be in here talking to y'all about
model the way,
mental health and all of this, and we don't have it together because then we'd be hypocrites. You know what I mean? So I talk to my guy all the time, man, but us here talking to y'all, we missed y'all, man. And
and we have heard you. We have been inundated. Hey,
right.
We need an episode.
Right. They've been asking. First of all, man, Ed, how you been, bro? How you?
I've been good,
Uh-oh.
That was a loaded good.
Yeah,
I can't even front. I've been good.
Yes.
I've been through hell and back, okay? Let's just be real. I've been through hell and back, still grieving. Lost my uncle a few days ago. So yeah. Life been lifing, man.
I know, man. And it's just crazy because, with everything that has been going on, I literally during that time it was in a what was it, a 10-day span, I literally lost three good friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it was just all of a sudden, and I think it really bothered me because seemingly healthy black men, and we're all around the same age.
Yeah.
And so that happening affected me in a way, I'm like, all right, keep pushing, all right, this, that, and the other. But subconsciously, I was like, I'm coming up on this monumental age, birthday coming up.
Big 6-0.
Oh, no.
No, I was just playing.
No. Shout out to the homies, you know what I'm saying, that are 6-0. But I'm not turning 60.
I'm just messing, man.
He putting years on me now. But nah, man, that it was rocking with me, man. It was hitting me. You know what I'm saying? It was hitting me first off, it's all right, even coming up on this age, right? Mm-hmm. I was dealing with I think you coined it, or was it somebody told me this, and it was man, it's survivor's remorse or whatever. And I'm looking at through these years, and past it was almost a guilt or almost a disbelief that I'm actually turning this actual age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not because oh man, you're an old man or anything, but I never growing up, I've never seen myself being this big age or being this adult or this person. You know what I mean? I always lived knowing that I was all right, I'm on borrowed time. You know what I mean? Once I get past this age, everything else is borrowed, because I know. And I had accepted that. You know what I mean? I accepted it in life. Subconsciously, I didn't. The way I moved, as far as the attachment, the relationships, and not having kids and everything, subconsciously, it was these thoughts that I ain't gonna be around to raise them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't want to leave nobody raising kids without me being. It's just crazy
Survivor's
thoughts.
remorse, guilt, and then also, I'm sure losing 3 brothers, you start thinking about your own mortality.
Right.
So that's a combo.
So everyone's you turning this age, you doing this big celebration, do it. You gotta. And I was nah. I don't even want to celebrate it, right? I was like, I don't want to do, I ain't trying to celebrate it. I just want to just be like any other birthday, whatever. And then I realized, like, you know what? You gotta celebrate this.
Got to.
You know what I mean? So,
Monumental.
shout out to all my friends, my family. I call my friends my family. Like, shout out to them for pushing me to celebrate. Shout out to therapy for allowing me, like, the channel to open up and be able to have these conversations. And shout out to, my brother for now us being in front of cameras and talking to millions of people about these issues.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, I never feel like I've never opened up, as much as I do now.
Yeah.
Because I was just removing the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And with those thoughts, I have to say, like, I also have to apologize to a lot of people, because subconsciously they look for a future in me that I ain't seeing myself. And so because they saw a future in me and saw these things, I pushed them away. You know what I mean? Like,
That's heavy, bro.
And so I made these, there was these excuses or whatever it was to end the relationship or push them back because they were getting too close. And because of that, you lose valuable people by not knowing what's going on with you and being able to communicate, to communicate these things and thoughts and feelings. As a black man, we have pride, we have a lot of hangups, we have these things that affect us.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that I'm now able to, communicate, and I'm now able to, express, and now able to see, like, myself being like this, old dude, like, chilling, doing whatever it is to be, doing.
The elder statesman.
Yeah.
But I see the growth, though, because the difference is, we can't preach to the choir about nothing is more important than your mental health and not take a break. But knowing that you needed to shut it down, and then me having enough sense to provide you grace and space, I think we're modeling exactly what we talked about.
Right.
Because we could have pushed through and kept going and been like, hey, guys, black men and mental health. But that's the growth that I see, is knowing that you got to unplug from the matrix and take care of yourself.
Man.
And me not putting pressure on you to, it's bigger than the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So grace and space.
And it's just crazy because I don't want to use the term crazy because, but it's just wild that, our platform and we started this platform about Ed and I, like, him and I, like Outkast album, right? Having conversations and opening up and exposing other black men, but so many other people have been exposed and have, like, learned so much. I was talking to, it's funny because I was talking to somebody who was in my life, growing up, and that person, I had pushed that person away or whatever. One of the people that got too close, and she said to me, she was like, we were talking and shooting the breeze, we were talking about things. I've known this person probably, over 30 years now, right? About 30 years. She said to me, oh, I saw your show. Like, I've seen episodes of your show. And she was like, and I was like, what you think? So I'm thinking she's going to, like, be like,
oh, that ain't nothing.
Like, nigga, please.
Yo, little show.
She goes, I am thankful that you actually doing the show because it opened my eyes and explained so many things about you. You know what I'm saying? Like that I just thought you was crazy. And I was like, what? She was like, oh no, you was crazy. You know what I mean? And in that week span, I literally had 2 people close to me was like, "Man, I thought you was going crazy. Like I was just crazy." And you did it. It was never an explanation or understanding on why you did or these choices and why you did the things you did. But because of the reclamation point, like now people can see myself and in themselves because they go through our life experiences. And you know, I'm sitting here with a brother of mine who we talk about life experiences, but he happened to be a professional. So I am not, I'm just here expressing how I am personally and these things and throwing them out there.
Don't discount your wisdom. I'm not gonna allow you to do that on this show. You have wisdom, so don't discount it.
And then you got, you know what I'm saying, Sammy Brosa knocking them out the park. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you got him just knocking them out the park and giving, you know, medical references and clinical references and things that so people will have this understanding, man. So I am thankful for this platform. I'm thankful for Ed. I'm thankful for therapy, and I'm just thankful, you know, that we're able to help others.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny, man. Both of us have gotten some good therapy in because of the stuff that we were going through. Yeah. Most of my stuff has been grief as well, just different levels of grief. You know, friends and family, and so I had some complicated grief as well. So, I mean, that's the point of the show. We actually practice what we preach. Mm-hmm. You know, so the hiatus was not, hey, we don't want to see y'all no more, but you know, we have to be mentally whole and well as well. So this is the practice what you preach
exactly
outfit here. So
and so, you know, before we do anything else, I want to say thoughts and prayers and just support continue to go out to my boy Marcelino King, his family. Actually his birthday was 2 days ago. So love you, Marcelino. I'm always miss you. Clay Evans, and everybody knew Clay. Clay was, you know, so all the friends, all family, Clay, you know, Mike Giddy Wine, and then, you know, my partner Land. So with that being said, and with that why we've been MIA.
Yeah.
We have to talk about some things that's going on
right on time. Now. Right on time.
The fact that we actually are back a day after the city was shut down.
Yeah.
Off a brother, and I won't say his name because I don't even remember his name. But in Atlanta, there's a young brother, 24 years old, who was suffering from mental health illness. His mother, he was suffering so much that his mother actually took him to the hospital to get treatment. There's conflicting stories that they either denied the treatment that she asked for, or they gave him wrong treatment, or whatever it was. This brother became irate, and he went on a shooting spree. He reacted. His brother had the city shut down. And there's so many ways. I said this because not only did he have it shut down and they was in search for him, but I didn't really, you know, because of what happened, and clearly it was a mental health issue. I didn't want them to kill the brother, but it had effect on so many different things, because when we talk about mental health, but we also talk about vigilantes in the racist system and how people are viewed, right? Mm-hmm. So him being a black man, I really literally made a post like call to action. Hey brothers, if you look like this isn't the game. If you look a certain way, stay indoors for a while until they catch this brother.
And it's a shame you had to give that public service announcement, but it was real.
Because we know, and this isn't no slack against law enforcement, because I truly believe that living in a lot of, being in a lot of different cities, hearing the complaints and everything, I truly believe, shout out to the police, the APD and the police in Atlanta and greater Atlanta area, because there's always going to be incidents that happen, but I don't believe like that we have the kind of like racial issues divide with the police and black people, because I see a lot of black police. I see a lot of, people who, us being the black city, you have economical differences and you're gonna have racism, but I don't see it with the police. I don't see it. There's always gonna be that, but I don't see it as much as other people. So I just wanted to put that in the context of when I say dangerous for other black men until he was caught, that I'm not talking about we worried about the police. Because I seen police pull people. I actually saw a clip of one brother, he got to drinking and stuff after, but that brother did.
He did look like him. He did look like him.
I was like, whoa. He kept getting, he had on a hoodie and everything. He like, why y'all sweating me? I'm looking at him like, bruh, if I would have saw him, I would have been like,
I was like, just when hoodies made a comeback where we could almost get away with wearing them. Now we shut down again.
So all the other brothers, except that one, like, brother, I don't know if you paying attention, you watching this, but you look like dude. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. So the police, I seen like a couple of police asking for his ID and whatever. And, I understand that he did look like the brother and he fit the description he had on hoodie. But then I also seen other people, but it wasn't necessarily law enforcement. We also live in a open carry, so you're going to have vigilantes who does some things out of fear, right? And I don't want that brother issue and what he was facing, what he did to affect other people, right? But let's get into, because it's so many layers to what
I was about to say this is an onion.
Clearly it was mental health, but it could be, but we face things because of like the PTSD, right? The PTSD, being black men in America. Apparently he was I think they were saying he was in the services at one point in time. Guard. I think it was Coast Guard. National Guard, I think.
Coast Guard, National Guard, but he was in some form of armed services.
Right. And so even everyday brothers, growing up, we live with some sort of PTSD or some sort of like things that affect our mental health, right? That needs to be addressed, because we sit here and talk about, black on black crime and all these things, and that's a mental illness. A mental illness is black and black like crime. When I say, I mean like in it, you're gonna have some things, people to do certain things, but if you're like, you consciously will shoot another black person before anybody else, and I'm not saying you should go do anything to anybody else, but I'm saying a lot of times we view the self-hate that we have amongst each other. It is easy for us to kill each other than it is anybody else, even if that person is like doing us wrong and it was a situation we still. So let's get into that.
Where you want me to start? Because I can go several places.
Let's talk about, I guess, let's talk about black, like, because we've addressed PTSD before. And if you didn't see that episode, look it up, Reclamation Point PTSD episode. But let's talk, mental health, and as it pertains to what causes in the mental health, why does it turn? When does it become like violent? And you know what? This is actually not to ramble on, but you and I had a conversation about a young boy, a child.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and how you as a professional saw some traits of, you know. So let's start
propensity
there.
for violence. So to give some context, me and Moetown, actually before this happened, it's a young person in my village that is struggling with some things that have shown telltale signs that have a propensity for violence. And so some of the telltale signs is just not only the inability to emotionally regulate, that means keep your emotions in check, but doing small things, little small acts like fighting or punching people unsolicited. So this person was displaying what I told Moetown. This is the behavior of someone that goes on to do mass shooting. So that's the context of that person. Where in this particular instance with Brother Patterson, the person, the alleged gunman from yesterday. Brother Patterson. The first thing, I was sad. And I was sad because we have a podcast. I post about this almost daily or weekly about the necessity to take Black men's mental health seriously. But unfortunately, it takes tragedy for people to rewind the tapes and say, oh, that's why they're doing the podcast on Black mental health. That's why his dissertation and thesis is on Black men and mental health. Because the best solution is to be proactive. Mm-hmm. It's little we can do for this brother now, right? Because it has to be a proactive stance. But number one, I was sad. You know, I had that feeling of dread because it's other brothers that's going to be affected. When they were looking for him, I was like, man, they're going to lock down every light-skinned brother with a beard in Atlanta. So I had that fear. I didn't even do it, and I felt fear and dread. Right. So that was the first thing. But as the story came out, the first thing that I told someone that asked me what I felt, I said he's probably a veteran and there's probably some systematic issues. What we fail to understand about armed services is that you are trained to do traumatic things that the average person can't even reconcile. So if you're constantly exposed to traumas, that's why a lot of people in armed services have PTSD. The other thing that I thought about, here's a Black mom who said, my son is having a mental health crisis, went to get help, and it still happened. That's what I thought about. Like, she did the right thing. I'm going to try to manage this. My son is struggling. I'm going to get him help. But, you know, sometimes that trigger, we never know when someone is like ticking on the inside. So those are all the things that I thought about. But it says something when most people that have a propensity for violence are to be triggered for violence have served in our military. So, ding, that'll tell us is something going on with that, right? And so that's why we have to be proactive with Black men's mental health, because the reason why we call it Reclamation Point, we have to reclaim our dignity every day. So these small indignities that we suffer from systematic racism, they have an impact. They have a deep impact. And so what we are seeing is the cumulative lifespan impact of a brother dealing with a system that is forecasting his demise.
And it's crazy that you said that, because why did I, when you saw the shooting, I'm seeing this, why did the minute it was like a Black man, I was like, wow, that's more frustrated. Like, damn, Black man.
I thought he was gonna die. I said, oh, they gonna kill him. That's what I thought. Like, brother, oh, he's out of here, because we don't get apprehended.
But I'm like, dang, man, the fact that I was like, damn, it's a brother, and I was more upset that it was a brother than exactly a shooter. That is something. Because
nobody, because we have that burden of representation where we know that other Black people will be impacted and judged by this one decision. White brothers and sisters don't have that.
True.
They don't have that burden that we have.
And so, sh- my thoughts, to the family, the families that was involved, to the people at Northside Hospital, and all the people that were traumatically like affected by this shooting. Thoughts and prayers go out to them people. Credit to law enforcement for doing an amazing job and apprehending this brother.
Alive.
And nobody else being hurt. And then, so I don't want to tiptoe past something you said.
Go ahead.
As pertains to the mental health and the kid, the child, the child acting out and what you saw. Because when you talk about like black people in our community, just the fact that you saw it and you felt like it had to be addressed, first of all, I commend that and love that because it shows that sense of like a community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we have lost because it takes a nation and a community to raise just one child.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know what who that one child is. So let's all focus on raising them all, right? I am a component of, for any of my friends can tell you. Here's one who has a child. He can tell you that, listen, man, I will full on take the responsibility of a adopted godfather, uncle. I am going to be always concerned about your children, their health and well-being. There's not a friend that I have that I talk to, they can tell you that'd be the first thing I might even ask about. I might even ask about them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask about to make sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure the kids gonna be straight.
Yes, sir.
And I'm thankful for, my mother for instilling that in me. But let's talk about that because the community, and why we see things and when how do we go or get back, or is it the community or other people's responsibility to address certain things, to police these things and and children and other people's children? Because I think that, for me personally, listen, man, I don't, whether it's a, behavioral, financial, there's something in us that we have to be like, all right, let me help you and pick up the slack or whatever.
Yeah, so first we have to understand that healing in the black community has to be a community practice. Mm-hmm. And so what you're speaking to is a change in values, right? So one of our psychological strengths that we have innate as black people is that connectedness to others, that spirit of community that we are, all of us have to look out for all of us, right? Mm-hmm. What has happened, especially here for black folks in America, money corrupts values, all right? So once black people start to achieve money post-integration or get close as whiteness as you can get to, thinking that the whiteness Kool-Aid tastes better, we also sacrifice some very fundamental black principles, and healing as community practice is something that we have abandoned, that we have to get back to. So what that looks like in action is that we are responsible for the needs of each other. And one of the needs that we neglect, we throw money at issues now when we need to be throwing mental health strategies.
Right.
All right. So
right.
we only throw money at issues now. So what that looks like is that we have to care and see our own humanity reflected in other black people. That has to become a value. When you do that, then everything else comes out of that. Like anything that is not attached to love is not going to work in the Black community. If you look at the Panthers program, it was some basic fundamental things like food, clothes, and shelter. But what they were saying implicitly was that we're going to help with doing food, clothes, and shelter is also going to help with psychological development. So people grow up affirmed, right? Because it's two things that everyone wants, especially Black people. They want help, whether they ask for it or not, and they want their humanity affirmed and have human connection with other people. So that human connection is how we get to the healing. And so how it relates to that child and this brother, that somewhere along the lines, healing as community practice has some kind of failure or fissure. Because any Black mom that takes you to the hospital, I already know her background. She probably been fighting for years to get this brother some help. So, but that's what it looks like in action, is that getting the necessary resources. But also, if we're going to throw money at stuff, mental health is severely underfunded.
Yep.
It's not enough Black men in psychology because the discipline of psychology is so racist. They don't want us in it. And then a lot of people don't have the fortitude to stick it out like I did, because I almost quit. You saw the stuff I went through. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to see change, throw some money at mental health issues and make training accessible to Black clinicians more accessible. That means scholarships, pay for some schooling. That's what we need if we're going to throw some money, throw some scholarships and some funding so we can have people that are trained in Black ways of being the people doing the psychological work with our people.
I think that's a major issue that we have, because within us, we've so caught up in the pursuit of financial stability or financial security that we forget about certain things. Like, our parents, they work, and they're trying to get this and trying to get that so I can give my kids this. But you forget about the essentials.
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? People think, like clothes on your back and shoes are essential.
They are.
Right?
But
Jordans, Chanel, Louis, there aren't, like, those things aren't, right? Shoes, clothes, but then also my logic and my approach to raising kids would be is you have to prepare your children with the tools of surviving in this world without you. Right? So surviving in this world does not mean that, all right, I'm going to leave him $1 million, right? Because that doesn't guarantee when someone else comes and he has this knowledge of, like, to turn away from drugs or those bad influences or people, stealing his money, anything. It still does not say that, okay, he knows how to love. He or she, they know how to love. They know what it is to be loved. They know what it is to cook and provide for themselves. They know what it is, about hard work. They know what it is about values and these things. We are forgetting and missing these things because we are in the pursuit of financial happiness, right?
Yeah.
And now you have a generation, and when you see these kids, this is their thing. They think, okay, this is what's important. So, I'm just, and we're not spending this time with them teaching these things.
Yeah.
Shout out to the parents that are, you know what I mean? And they're actually there and they're showing them how to be loved. Showing young women, what it is to be loved, by, a man and a woman. Showing young boys that, it's okay to coddle, but sometimes you have to be
gotta lay down the law.
Because that's just what it is, right? And so, and shout out to the people and parents and those who are paying attention, because there's a lot of crying for help. We seeing like depression and suicide and everything going up at alarming rates amongst children.
It's a
You know what I mean?
it's a complicated and simple reason why. Like we're looking at the end result. Like we're looking at all these behaviors like, oh God, the kid's crazy. No, the kids are not crazy. We are expecting behavioral change without a value shift. You know what I'm saying? So, in the psych world, we would use words like we need to undergo cognitive restructuring. But to put it in red Kool-Aid terms, because our value system and our core beliefs in the Black community have changed, so has the behavior followed.
Right.
So we can't expect behavior to change unless we're willing to change some core beliefs. So our core belief right now is money over everything. Money even over Black folks. I would kill, steal, whatever I have to do for the money, right? So what are the behaviors? People are killing, stealing, and doing anything for the money. Notice when our core beliefs were power to the people, activism and those things, look at the behaviors. We protest effectively. We work together effectively. We had Black businesses. We supported them because our core value system was such that those things were important. The value system that we have embraced is Eurocentric. Any people that invest in the value system of another person or another group of people is destined to fail. We have to remember that we have to develop Black value systems that put community development, mental health, and all of these things as a priority for our own people.
You have to. Because, just like the clip, I sent Ed this clip. I don't know, was it last night or was
Last
it today?
night.
I sent Ed this clip. I'm online, and I see this clip, and this had to be, you see a lot of disheartening things, but to see this. There's a clip going around. There's a person interviewing these African-American high school girls, and she asked them, what would you rather have? What would you rather date? Would you rather have a fat boyfriend? This is her words, not mine. Because, I'm roundly blessed in that area. Would you rather have a fat or overweight boyfriend or an abusive boyfriend?
Yeah.
And all of them young girls said they would rather have an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I'm like,
how do we get there?
Clearly, just lack of fathers right there. There's no way no real man could be in that family, right? In the home of them young girls. Secondly, how did we get here? Society has really.
I'll give you one example that we have right in front of us of how we got there. When I talked about core beliefs, every media outlet, every person that shares this craziness between Brother Blueface and Sister Rock, right? How many times have we consistently put out this and gave credence to this abusive relationship? Unquestioned. We think it's a joke, right? How many times have you seen it? You can type in Blueface and you will see videos of him disrespecting Sister Rock, talking about abuse, and it has gone unchecked. Nobody has said, hey, we gonna stop promoting this. You know what I'm saying? So you have young, impressionable women seeing constant abuse, constant degradation, constant disrespect for their own humanity as women, and we wonder why young people would rather have an abusive boyfriend.
I didn't even look at. You know what? I've totally forgot. I didn't even
think about that. Has there ever been a story that says we are contributing to the death of not only Blueface, but the death of our sister Rock, has there been any stories talking about the psychological turmoil and trauma that she has to have gone through to accept this abuse, and the psychological trauma that Blueface has gone through in order to be the perpetrator? It's predatory behavior. But if we have a community value, we would check it. So it makes sense to me in this media world where the kids are influenced by that they think it's cool to get beat up.
That is first of all, I am so protective in how I am as a black man. I'm just not going, right? And I never could see myself being like abusive to a woman in shorts, and it's not okay, right? It's never okay. Y'all call me a sucker, you can call me whatever. Like, nah, man, you a sucker. Like, you putting hands on a woman and being like,
but where did that value system for you come from?
Yeah, it came from, but it's just crazy because I'm just like, it's accepted and it's okay, and to see young girls think like this.
Yeah,
and you put it in the perspective of Blueface, and I also seen,
That's just a great example that everybody knows. It's several examples I can give.
I read this thing. This girl was talking about Diddy and I don't know the girl's name, Carisha, and they was like, oh yeah, he putting her in circles, and I'm like, but according to her, like, he does things that she don't like, which is essentially like abuse in that.
Yeah.
But it's okay because I'm putting you in these rooms, in these circles.
It's okay because he has money.
But
that's why people think it's okay.
And
let me abuse somebody, I'm going to jail. Okay, I don't have that kind of money.
Right. And so if we can say anything to young kids and young adults, to the sisters, and even to some of the brothers that's being abused, whoever, like, it is not okay to deal with, to be in that position. What's your boy's name who had all the money in the world and he ended up when he killed his wife, he killed somebody. He was known to be abusive, and then he ended up moving overseas to think Roman Polanski?
Polanski. I'm about to say, you talking about the Polanski, bro.
And you see these things, hey, whether you feel like OJ did it or not, people say OJ was, abusive, and it got to the point, like, it's not okay, man, like, to allow somebody to abuse you and just because of the financial or the status. Like, it's never okay, because you get your head knocked off and you die. What good is that money? Yeah. And that person can also walk away. When you look at like Blueface can just be like, you know what, I'm tired of this and I'm done. What does that leave? Rock. Somewhere harmed and just mentally in a bad place because you've allowed this abuse based on what a person could supply. It is not okay.
Let's throw some therapy. we throwing money. Let's throw some therapy and some psychological resources.
Exactly. And we have to, as adults and as an African American community, we have to stop saying that this is okay. We have to stop looking at this junk like it's humor, it's entertainment, because it is affecting our children. It is affecting our future. It is affecting our community, right? Damn about, oh man, white folks do it too. No. It's about
us.
When we talk about Black Panthers were about self-policing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's about, we're going to police our community, and we're going to run the dope dealers and all these people up off the community. We're going to police our community before we can tell somebody else, hey, don't do this in our community. Yeah. We have to police us. So we have to, stop liking the picture or comment like, oh, but they look cute, or this is funny, or this is cool. No.
And we have media. We have media outlets. We have to our media outlets that are Black owned and Black controlled. We have to stop feeding into that.
Yep.
We have to check it.
it's just we getting there, we taking baby steps. But after all this time in this nation, man, like some of the stuff some of the stuff, it can't be baby steps. When children are saying it is better to have an abusive boyfriend than an overweight boyfriend, that ain't something we take baby steps on and change. That's something we got to be like, you know what? Let's change this now.
The buck stops here.
Because we look at like some of these young boys, they ain't playing no games. I won't even, you know what I mean? Listen, I get into it, you know, at the gas station, wherever.
You can have it.
Oh, you got it?
You got it, brother.
So I know if they ain't playing no games with me and they quick to shoot and do whatever, who's to say they won't shoot and abuse their girl?
But you know, we have let sexism go unchecked for so long. Like that's how we get predators. I mean, that's how we get R. Kelly. That's how we get Bill Cosby, because we have let sexism be the dirty little secret that we don't check.
Yeah, we have to. In our community, we have to check that. And with that being said, I think that's a perfect place to end this or kind of like wrap this episode up.
I do want to shout out a resource because we are about solutions.
Oh yeah.
I think especially for brothers that are struggling with issues of violence and their violent proclivities. You Lester Douglas and Man Stopping Violence is a good resource to get you some help. So Man Stopping Violence, you Lester Douglas, look them up. That'll be a good resource to help you navigate through these gangster proclivities that we sometimes have. So that's a good resource for the people.
And for a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters, there is, even if there's Ed and I don't have a hotline, but there's ways you can communicate with both of us. And this isn't a judgment zone. If you reach out to me and you're like, look, I need to holler at Ed or another therapist, or what do you think? Please reach out to me. You can email me or you can hit me on any one of the socials. Moetown Lee, MOETOWNLEE. And you can reach Ed. Actually, I want to not just your social, but I want them to reach out to your website and
so you can reach me on social at all of my social is at Dr. Ed Garnes. Also, if you would like a consult like Moetown is talking about, if you want to hire me to help and be of assistance to you, visit edwardgarnes.com. Click on the Hire Ed link. Hire Ed, So that's how you can reach out to us. But we are available. If we don't have the answers, we'll get you to somebody that can.
So, with that being said, this has been the Reclamation Point Podcast, man. I'm your host, Mr. Moetown Lee.
And riding shotgun out of tea right now, but Dr. Ed Garnes.
and we do these episodes. We do this out of love. We do this to help with mental health, whether you black, white, whatever you are. But we're gonna focus on our community. Because we just happen to be. Damn, we black.
Yeah.
Damn, did you know that?
Don't rub off.
So with that being said, we're going to close it out. Reclamation Point Podcast. Check us out. Thank you to David. Thank you to U42 Studios. And subscribe.
Like,
U42,
share.
share.
Higher.
We out of here.